The opinions expressed in this video do not represent YouTube, associations, agencies, or any particular individuals. They are merely from two guys needing to pass the boredom of their average day lives. Some explicit content may occur in this or future presentations. Viewer discretion may be advised, but ignored if you're into that thing.
How's it going, guys? Welcome to the Wild Wolf Show. I'm the Big Bad Wolf Benny.
And I'm Wild Man Wes.
And today's our part 2 episode of the Judge Dredd movies. This is, I like this one better than the original one. It actually felt more like a comic book movie to me. It was gritty.
I watched it one time. It was better than the first one.
It was hard to get this guy to watch a remake. It really was. But
yeah,
I told him, like, just give it a shot. If you don't like the first 20 minutes of the movie, turn it off.
Yeah, I'm very stubborn, and I think you probably
talked to his wife.
Yeah, oh yeah. But I mentioned before, I'm not a big fan of. So I mean, a lot of reboots. I'm not a big fan.
Yeah,
not a big fan.
I tend to like the original.
But the fact that this guy told me I should give it a chance, I gotta trust him.
He stuck around for the first 20 minutes, and he's like, yeah, all right, it's better than the Stallone one.
Yep.
So let me just give you a brief synopsis of the story. Dredd gets called into the, he stops a crime in the beginning of the movie, gets called into Central. He gets told by his superior officer that he's going to train this girl. You find out she's a mutant. She has psychic abilities, but she failed the judge test by like 3%. So Dredd is just like, she failed. What are you talking about? And they're like, well, she's a psychic, the most powerful psychic they've ever seen. So they feel like she'll be a great, part of the force. So Dredd goes along with it. He's not going to disobey a direct order from his superior. So he's, basically telling her what she has to do, how she's going to fail, if she's going to fail. So they go out. They go to, a crime scene. I'm not going to ruin it. We'll get into it later.
A lot of bloodshed.
A lot of bloodshed. Brutal as hell. Follows the comic books to that level. Very good. I'll give it that.
Yeah, and because of that, I'm going to have to start reading some of these comics.
Yes. So basically they get locked in one of these big mega towers that holds like so many people by the gang leader Mama, who she actually was a very, very good villain.
Yeah.
Awesome to see a female.
Hey, don't get me wrong. Hey, Rico was great with his overacting. In this one, Mama,
oh man,
great actress.
And the thing, she was so subtle about things. Like, she'd just be like, for example,
very dark.
One of her drug dealers, whatever, caught 3 guys trying to sell on one of the floors. So he tells them, yeah, we threw him a beating, 3 weeks ago, didn't take. And then she's like, and you need me to handle this? And he's just like, no, I can handle it. He's just like, do you want us to make an example of him, though? Just to show you how afraid these guys are. Mind you, big, fucking tough-looking guys, much bigger than we are. They're afraid of this tiny little woman. That's just how scary she is.
But you also have to think about her backstory, too, because she was an ex-prostitute when her pimp basically carved her up.
And, she took away his manhood with her teeth.
Yeah. Very, Last House on the Left, if you...
Still, though, I'm saying, their dicks aren't in her mouth. They're still afraid of this woman. So that just shows you how good of a character she is. And I love seeing fucking evil females because you kind of expect it from a man. I don't know why, but it's like, oh, it's the bad guy. You know what I mean? It's always the bad guy.
Oh yeah, but now, if you ever look at femme fatales, and
femme fatales are fucking awesome.
Oh yeah, even just in suspense movies, if you think of movies like Fatal Attraction, and even The Hand That Rocks the Cradle, disturbing but very effective, very effective.
So yeah, it's good, it's awesome. Check it out. But yeah, so they get called in. They're dealing with the crime. They bust like a little gang drug center on this one floor. And they're taking them in, they killed a bunch of the guys, they're taking a couple of the guys in. The psychic, which we'll get back to, why I like this and why I don't like this, reads the guy's mind, knows that he's got something to do with the grisly murders that they were called there for. And so that's what starts the whole thing, is Mama doesn't want this guy to go to jail and get interrogated. She's running the trade on this new drug, the slow-mo.
Yeah.
So basically that's what happens, they get into that, so it's basically a war from that to the end of the movie.
Yeah, big block war, basically.
It's pretty cool. So we're just going to jump right into our good side, bad side stuff, our top 5s for both. I want to keep it nice and short for you guys on the synopsis so we don't ruin the movie for you.
And tell you the truth, as hard as it was to find the good and bad things for the 1996 Judge Dredd film.
It reversed?
Yeah, this one was actually a little easier.
Yeah, There was a lot of good things. Like, I had a very long list of good things that we had actually condensed on. And the bad side, it was more or less little nitpicks and one or two things that really did bother us.
But I mean, there was things that we could actually point out instead of nitpicking.
Yeah, so like I said, there was one or two things that really did bother us about the movie, and then there was, you know, the other things. It's like, all right, well, we need 5, we can't do 2.
Yeah.
So we nitpicked a little bit.
Gotta make it even.
Gotta make it fair. Hey.
Oh yeah.
It's justice. It's the law. That's what this whole movie's about.
And we are the law. Oh wait.
No,
yeah, this isn't Sly anymore.
No, I'd rather be Carl Urban's Judge Dredd.
True.
All right, you want to start with the bad side this time first, since we did the good, or you want to do the good first?
You know, let's switch it up. Since I got switched up, we're gonna do the bad first this time.
Let's break your hearts first before we build that hope up again.
Oh yeah, let's get to it. I am the law.
So number 5 on the bad side of the list, it's one of those things. It's a nitpick. There's these 2 young thugs who are trying to get on Mama's crew. So, of course, they have guns, and they even make the point to say, why did we have to be the ones to find them? So, they hold up Judge Dredd.
That just shows how much of the pussies they really are.
I mean, they're kids. They're teenagers. They're just trying to survive. So,
well,
I mean,
I'll give them that.
I understand they're trying to get involved with that stuff, because, I mean, they basically... Mama runs that place. The judges, they even say, don't really stop by unless there's a violent crime. So, I understand where the kids are coming from. They're just trying to, you know, get by. But they hold him up, and Judge Dredd turns around. He's like, why? And then he's just like, you know, like, because I'll shoot you. I'll shoot you, man. And Judge Dredd just kind of like, well, that's funny. You can't really do that with the safety on. So, as dumb as these kids are, they both, like, look at the gun. It's not. Judge pulls out his piece. Don't, like,
they got pwned.
They got owned. They got pwned pretty bad.
They got pwned.
And the only saving grace was
pwnage.
Judge Dredd didn't kill him. He stunned him. He showed him. So, I mean, that's
that with the MPAA sometimes, if you want to have a movie rated R and not, you know, and unrated, like you can't really kill anybody that's under the age. Yeah, you can't kill kids in movies. You can kill them off camera, but you can't kill them on camera.
They might have probably been at most 16, 15. So, I mean, I get, like I said, you feel for them because in this gritty dystopia world, like, that's how they get by.
They have no other alternative.
They have no other alternative, exactly. There's not too many jobs. So you kind of feel for them. At the same time, I think that's why Judge Dredd tased them instead of, you know, killing them. Because they don't know what they're doing. They're not trying to kill him. Like, if they wanted to kill him, they would have shot him in the back.
True on that.
So, that's just your prime example of Judge actually being a little merciful, which you don't really see in the movie.
Not much.
That's probably his only act of mercy was, you know, stunning the kids.
That was it. Other than that, he just fucked people up.
He did. He just, his body count in that movie, like, I want to go back and count how many people he killed. Right. Like, it's probably in the hundreds.
Yeah. I am the law. So number 4 on the bad side, we had mentioned in the last episode that it was a good thing there was no sequel, but in this one, it's a bad thing. This movie was, I'll admit, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed a reboot for once, but when I found out there wasn't really going to be a sequel, I was kind of like, damn.
Now, the only good news we have, I actually just read before we did this video, they're thinking about doing, actually, they are doing a Judge Dredd TV show. Now, I hope they go on like Netflix or Hulu or something like that, where they can be as brutal as they want. Like, follow the movie. Like, the movie worked. I hope they actually get, you know, Carl Urban back as, you know, Dredd. Just because.
And if they don't, this will probably be moved up from number 4 to probably number 1.
But let's put it this way: like, all you see of Carl Urban's face is just this area right here, his mouth and a little bit of his nose. But just the way he's like, I don't know, just the way he like he doesn't smile, just the way he frowns when he's in action.
It's the male version of resting bitch face.
Yes, but he plays it off like you can actually convey some of his emotions by how just he's frowning at the moment.
Yeah.
So that just goes to show you how good of an actor he is. That just this little part right here that you see, just his mouth, you get emotions from it. That's difficult to do. So my hat's off to him. I mean, he's a really good actor. If you haven't seen him in movies, he's been in so many good ones.
Yeah, like you mentioned, it is hard to do a lot of things with
emotions.
Well, I mean, when I've gone to conventions, I've talked to Kane Hodder, who played Jason, more than anybody in the franchise. He's mentioned it takes a lot to, you know, show any type of emotion or expression.
One of my favorites was actually, I know you're not a big fan of the new Halloween, but I did like Tyler Mane, the guy who played.
Tyler Mane's awesome.
He's awesome. Like, just the way he would tilt his head as Michael Myers.
He's a better stuntman than he is a wrestler. I'll say that.
Yes. But no, just the way, like, go back
Sorry,
and watch.
Tyler.
Yeah, sorry, big guy. Don't hurt us.
Yeah, don't send Kevin Nash at us either.
But just the way he would tilt his head after he killed somebody, you got a lot of emotion out. Because remember, the Michael Myers mask is a full mask. The only thing you really see is his eyes, and even that's difficult because it's kind of black. But just the way he would tilt his head after he would do something, it spoke volumes.
Yeah, and same with Kane Hodder as Jason.
Yeah, it's a similar thing.
His head moved. It's like, was it his head moved before his body did?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was good. I mean, that just shows you how you're giving this character who doesn't talk, you can't express emotions through your face. I mean, slight little things, just a little slight turn of a head after something happens, you kind of get what they're feeling, how they're feeling. So, I mean, that just goes to show you how good of an actor or actress they are. I mean...
So let's hope that they keep that for the TV show.
I'm hoping. Like I said, yes, that's just... Yeah, keep it, please. It's good. I am the law. Number 3 on the bad side is the one-sidedness of the law. Like I said, Dredd pretty much kills everybody he comes up against except for the 2 thugs, the young thugs. Basically, he's an open shut book on the law. This is how it is, that's how it's done, this is what happens. Now his rookie, I said again, Anderson, she's a psychic, she can read minds. So she actually gives a break to this one kid. Like, Mama tortured him. She ripped his eyes out, put like these computerized eyes so that he could look over the computers faster, better, more accurate. And like basically throughout this movie, you see her like kind of tormenting him with a knife, like she's gonna kill him if he doesn't do what she wants. So they kind of corner him, and Dredd's like, go ahead, finish him. She reads his mind to get the codes, like to get into this room, and she sees all the shit that Mama has done to him.
It's terrible. It's a mind fuck.
It's terrible. So she lets him go, and Dredd's like, what? She's like, that's a fail. And at this point, she doesn't care. No. She's already failed. And she says a great line. She's like, you know what? I can't make a difference for everybody out there, but I made a difference for this kid.
Sometimes that's all you really need.
That's really all you need. So that's just what I'm saying about the one-sidedness of the law. It's like, it's not so straightforward. You know what I mean? You have to look at it from different angles. Because, I mean, any one of us put in that position, we're going to help Mama because we don't want to die. We don't want to die.
Yep. We all want to be on the winning side. Which, they should backtrack on that. Just, I know it's not part of the list, but when they say that in the movie, I swear that was taken directly from the movie They Live.
Ooh, we're talking about that. I think that's going to be episode 2 in season 2. We playing that?
Yeah, season 2 is going to be starting off with basically a 3-part on Roddy Piper.
It's on Roddy Piper. So
spoiler alert, you're going to be seeing that for season 2. It's a lot of Roddy Piper.
You'll be very entertained. I trust you. We're going to be dressing up.
Oh, yeah.
We'll be in characters. So, yeah, look forward to that.
Yeah. So number 2 on the bad side of Dredd would have to deal with the drug known as the slow-mo. Now, granted, I know what they're trying to go with. We're basically just new type of drug, and plus in this whole futuristic dystopian world, you gotta have something new other than the basic drugs we've all known and seen in every other movie.
Because they're gonna evolve.
Oh yeah.
Drugs, they always evolve. I mean, everything's getting stronger, more deadly.
Yeah,
so
and I think what got to me was the fact that the slow-mo drug was used by method of inhaler. Now, I mean, yeah, it could work, but at the same time, all I can think of and this is a nitpick one for me because we're supposed to be in a futuristic dystopian world, and you know, when people are using drugs, as the years go by, people are finding out different ways, different methods,
faster ways.
Yeah, and
that's the only thing I think I liked about the drug is how fast it worked. It's like, all right, cool, you're in the future, like the drug should work that fast on you.
But with the inhaler, I mean, it kind of threw me off a little bit because when I look back at RoboCop 2 in 1991, it was a futuristic dystopian world, and when the villain Kane is using his drug nuke, it's in a small little vial form, but you break. It's like
the glow sticks. You kind of like you break them
with a needle on the side, and he breaks off, and then you stick it, and it goes straight to the bloodstream. Yeah. Now this one, I mean, hey, I'm no science major. Exactly. Hey, my dad was a chemistry teacher. He might be able to tell me the basics of inhalation. I don't know.
I mean, I actually looked up the symptoms because my mom had asthma, and I know they did say if you overused it, you could get like nausea or headaches. So it does affect the brain. I just don't know, would it affect it that fast? See, that's the thing. We don't have the science background to do that. I just don't know if the science is there.
Yeah.
And honestly, if you guys know somebody out there is a chemistry major or science major or something like that, let us know. We like to be. I'd like to know.
And the reason,
it could make the movie that much better for us.
The reason why, the reason why we put this at on the bad side of the list is just it was just confusing for us, and that's all. It really
like I said, it's a nitpick. I mean, like I said, the science might be there, and we don't understand it. So, like I said, comment below. Let us know if you know. I mean, we like being educated.
Yeah.
I mean,
the more you know.
Exactly.
I am the law.
All right, so number 1 on the bad list of Dredd. This is something where, like I had said, I'm not a big fan of reboots. I gave this one a shot, and I liked it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. However, at the beginning of the movie, I did want to facepalm a little bit. With the introduction of Rookie Anderson, with the whole idea within like the original movie, they talked about people being mutated due to the poisoned, cursed Earth.
It was more or less like bodily mutations, like, missing body parts or... stuff like that.
In this one, they say she's a mutant because she has psychic abilities, and all I could think of throughout the whole movie was X-Men. I'm sorry, that's just how I felt about it.
And she comes off the way she uses her powers.
It reminds you of Jean Grey.
It does.
Yeah. And at one point, while she's being interviewed on a little room with a little double-sided glass, they ask her, what do you sense? And she goes, I sense fear, I sense anger. And all I could sit there thinking was, am I watching Dredd? Am I watching X-Men? Or am I watching fucking Star Wars? Then again, in the first Judge Dredd, it was narrated by James Earl Jones.
We touched on that.
Yeah, full circle. I mean, conspiracy, I swear.
I'm telling you.
I mean, like I said, this was a nitpick thing for me, but at the same time... But it's a good nitpick, because
it doesn't bother me so much. What bothers me with her is, like, she's a good character, she's good, strong, because she's got, like, you can tell she's got morals. She came from, like, one of these poor blocks. So she, she feels bad for these people.
Yeah.
She knows there's good people, but again, like, the judges are kind of set in stone about how you go about it. So that's why I think she failed the test, because, like, she has morals. So, I mean, I like her as a character. She's a badass. Like, she kicks the shit out of a bunch of dudes, and then she does mind fuck that one guy. And
I mean...
That goes both ways, good and bad, I guess.
I think it did, the whole scenes with that just was too reminiscent of X-Men for me. And that's where it threw me off, but at the same time, at the same point, hey, the storyline was great.
She's a good character. Like, let's put it this way. You take away her psychic...
It's a decent movie, but...
You take away her psychic powers, she's still an awesome character.
Yeah.
I mean, she really is.
I think I would have loved the movie a little bit more if she didn't rely on it as much.
See, the only thing, like, we were talking about this, it was a nitpick, because I didn't like the psychic thing. He liked it a little bit more than I did. The only thing is, it made the movie, though. Like, if she didn't read the guy's mind to take him in, they would have just executed him, and then the movie's over, or he would have just gone to another minor crime.
The movie might have fallen a little flat if it wasn't in there. But at the same time, overuse.
They overused it.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to do a movie when you overuse something or you underuse something. I mean, when you have that line in the sand, it's very hard to either be on one side or the other. You know what I mean?
Let's put it this way. Here's a perfect example. We have a Wolverine movie, and his clothes are out the whole time.
Yeah.
Now, you love Wolverine, but there's plenty of awesome scenes where his claws aren't out. And besides, I mean, he wouldn't be such a badass with the claws out. Who would want to fuck with the guy with fucking 6 claws out?
Yeah, I mean, even in the first X-Men, even as, mediocre as it was, at least at one point he had one blade as, like, a middle finger sticking out. I mean, that was funny for me.
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, it was just a nitpick. Overuse of the thing, it's just like you use it too much. Same thing with the slow-mo, though. That's another thing that we were nitpicking, too. Is like, did they overuse it? Was it used properly? Some scenes it worked, some scenes it didn't.
I mean, the ending scene where Mama...
That's just...
It's very reminiscent to me of a manga series known as Golgo 13.
Check it out, guys.
When they did the first animated film of that, known as The Professional, the lead villain, Leonard Dawson, is falling out of a window, and as he's falling down, it's going in slow motion. And when he finally hits the ground and breaks his neck, they show an X-ray aspect of, the perspective. And in Dredd, when Mama falls to her death and when the way how she lands, it's almost side-by-side comparison.
That's awesome.
If you might you might have to check that out and let us know what you think on that one. So
moving on to the good side.
Now that we've gotten the bad stuff out of the way,
getting that hope back. Now you're gonna want to see
a new hope. Are we doing Star Wars again with Dredd?
Yeah, we are.
Come on, you're killing me, Smalls. You're killing me. All right, well, let's get into the top 5 good things of Dredd.
I am the law.
Number 5, on the good side, is kind of what we were talking about earlier with the one side of the law. It's the Anderson conflict. Now, in the movie, she is told if she loses her sidearm, if she gives a wrong decision, like,
Wrong judgment.
a wrong judgment, basically, she fails. And at this point in the movie, she's lost her sidearm, so she already knows she's going to fail. So it goes back to that one kid we were talking about who was tortured, his eyes were removed. She reads his mind to get the information, and basically, like I said earlier, it's just she lets him go because it wasn't his fault. And now Judge Dredd would have just killed him just on principle that he helped. It doesn't matter that his life was threatened. He probably would have told him, suicide's legal. It's okay to do that instead of helping a known criminal. Because in the first movie, that's actually brought up that suicide was legal in that time. Mm-hmm. So you don't know if it's the same, thing like that. But so Anderson.
What, Dredd, do you expect me to jump and commit suicide? At least it's legal.
Exactly. So that just goes to show you. That goes to show you how maybe the law is needed, but it's got to be tweaked a little bit. I mean, you can't blame that kid. Like I said, you can't blame him. And he's scared the whole time.
Well, even when Mama's basically, making him
he's terrified.
Obstruct justice. She has a knife right up to his gut.
I mean, he's literally, you can see the fear in his face. He's trying to
he's
tell
crying
him. He's trying to. He's on the counter talking to other people, and you can just. Yeah. He's trying to think of anything and everything to get these guys to believe him, so that Mama won't hurt him. Yeah. So I mean, I think that was a good call on her part. So that's why I like her as a character. And spoiler alert, Dredd actually does pass her because he knows, she's got the grit. There's a funny scene too before we move on. At the beginning, before they do the drug bust, he asks her, "Are you ready?" And she's like, she takes a deep breath. She's like, "Yeah, I'm ready." And he's just like, "You don't look ready." She's like, "It's the adrenaline, sir." Then there's the last scene right before they bust into Mama's complex in her secret room. He asks her again. He's like, "Are you ready?" And she's like, "Yeah." He's like, "You look ready."
Are you ready?
So it just goes to show you from the beginning of the movie to the end of the movie, her character development. And I really liked it. Like I said, maybe that's what the judges need, a little moral support in there. And I think that's what she brings. So if they do make a sequel, I hope they bring her back. And, hopefully maybe, I don't want to see Judge Dredd change, but I'd like to see the other judges maybe kind of take a little bit more in her, interpreted her way. Because there are the varying degrees of...
like maybe if she's one of the main people at the academy.
Maybe, that'd be good. She instills in the new cadets who are going to be judges, you have to look at it from multiple views. Were they forced to do something?
And he could be in charge of, the final testing.
Yeah, you go out...
Put everything into perspective.
Exactly. You have to think that way, but at the same time, when you're out on the field, it's two different things to talk about it and another thing to do it. So, I mean, that'd be a good, she gives them the ethics of being a judge, and he gives them the actual rundown of sometimes you don't have time to think about that. You have to give a judgment. So that'd be cool. See, we're giving theories right now to the future movies. So if you guys see this in a Dredd 2 movie and we don't get credit for it, you heard it from us first.
I could be all right either way.
I'd be cool if they did it either way.
I am the law.
So number 4 on the good side of Dredd, I had briefly mentioned this during the bad segment. It's Mama's death. So during the movie, she's killing a lot of people off using the drug slow-mo, the people that don't really agree with what she's doing. And it happens a lot to the point where the best way for her to die is by her own drug. So while at the end of the film, Dredd, he wins. I'm just going to say he wins.
Well,
but to put the cherry on the top of the sundae, before he just, shoves her off the building, he fills her up with slow-mo. And it's just kind of a nice,
The cool reason he does that, too, is Mama was smart. She rigged up explosives on the top 50 floors that would, just level the whole building out. And then she had hooked up a device to her arm.
Oh, I forgot.
That controls her heartbeat. So if her heartbeat dies... the whole building pretty much dies too. So Judge Dredd does, he's like, she's like, "You're not going to kill me. You can't risk all these people." He shoots her in the stomach, wounds her, she's down, and then he's just like, "You know what?" He's like, "I wonder how how long that range is on that tracker." So he hits her up with slow-mo to slow everything down so that by the time she reaches the bottom, it doesn't have the range to set off the bombs, and it works.
Yeah.
So basically, she tried pulling a bluff on Judge Dredd, and it's just he wasn't having it. Called his bluff, and Judge Dredd he wasn't having it. And, you know, it paid off. I mean, he was willing to risk his own life to take her down as long as that whole thing went down.
Yeah.
So, it was ballsy on him. That just shows you how fucking badass Judge Dredd is. And,
a lot more badass than the original.
yes.
Oh, God,
yes.
I am the law.
Number 3 on the good side was actually the one, you know, on the bad side last time. It's the source material. I loved it. They had everything down perfectly. The only time you saw Dredd without his helmet was at the beginning of the movie when he's like getting geared up, but you never see his face. You see the bottom of his chin, and then by the time he turns around finally, he's got his helmet on. Yeah. So, right
That's the only way I can figure out. That's how they did it in the first one.
So yeah, that was good. I liked that. Another good thing was his lawgiver, his gun. It could only be used by another judge, specifically the judge who it belonged to. So there's a scene where Anderson gets caught by the guy that they were taken to question.
Played by Wood Harris, very awesome actor from Remember the Titans.
Oh God, yeah. So he picks up the lawgiver and he's just like, you know what? You were good. You might have died today. You might have died tomorrow. You might even die the day after that. He's like, but you know what? It's not gonna happen. You're gonna die today. Points the lawgiver at her, and he's like, "You ready to die, bitch?" She's like, "Any last words?" And she's like, "That's funny. I was gonna say the same to you, bitch." So he points the gun at her, tries to pull the trigger, and a little alarm goes off on it. ID not recognized. The whole gun blows up. That's how she loses her sidearm, taking pretty much half his arm off. He's pretty much just like left her like looking at his stubby little arm like, well, fuck. And then he dies.
It's definitely a better effect than
the first one.
Yeah, with the electric. Yeah.
But so yeah, the source material was awesome. Like I said, they kept it.
It also reminded me of like in Blade, where with the sword.
With the sword, yeah. But yeah, no, the source material was definitely. They looked at the comics, they read them. Brutal. Everything was brutal as hell. It was dark. It was gritty. A lot of it's done in like the shadows to play off that excuse me. That's how the comics were. It's like just dark and
as a film noir type.
Yeah, and you know what? I like that type of movie, and like it just really works with Dredd so well that like you could definitely tell they just took right from the comics. Like, you know what? We fucked up the first time. Let's do it right this time. And you see what happens when you stay true to your source material? It looks good.
See what happens, Lebowski? Do you see what happens, Lebowski?
And the fans, I mean, every fan, like, where's our sequel? We want more. It's that good of a movie.
So regardless if they make a sequel or
in the TV show, though,
yeah, regardless of that, we hope that they do a good job.
Just stick to this movie, and you'll be fine.
Don't fix what ain't broke.
There ain't no reason to.
Exactly.
I am the law.
So number 2 on the good side of Dredd would have to be the scene of level 76.
Like I said, this goes back to the brutality again, but
violence galore. Step right up, ladies and gentlemen.
Basically, Mama's got literally 3 miniguns set up, and she just like she sees Dredd peeking around a shadow and just fire. That's all she says. All 3 guns go off. Mind you, these are 50 cal bullets probably. They're cutting through everything. They kill so many poor, innocent poor people for no reason other than get to the judges.
Yeah, that scene alone might be a reason why I should watch it again, just so I can actually tally a kill count.
They legit, I mean,
it was pretty intense.
Literally cut that side of the building in half. It was awesome. Yeah, oh my God.
I mean, just for special effect alone, just for, practical effect, it worked.
Just, yeah, I mean, like I said, it's just amazingly shot. It was perfect. Like, that whole 76 floor is just...
And just showing you how much of a badass that Mama really is.
Yeah, Mama didn't give a fuck. Like, she tried doing it cool, and then she's like, you know what, fuck this. I've been nice. I'm gonna show you why I'm a bitch. And she basically,
she went super bitch.
She even jumps on the minigun, starting, and then she's like, concentrate on one spot. And, like, you just see, like, a big hole where, like, a wall used to be. And mind you, this is, like, 7-8 inches of brick, concrete. And they're cutting through it.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I'm no physics major, but trying to figure out, ballistics with... Or, I'm no ballistics specialist.
You feel bad for the people. You see the people in their, their little rooms behind tables.
I'm trying to think of how many bullets would have had to go through that 7-8 inches of brick. She must have had a lot of ammo then.
Well, she did. I mean,
Well,
but
then
yeah,
again, she's hardened criminal, of course.
like I said, you just feel bad for the people because there's nothing you can do to block this bullet. So, like, it's going through the concrete, like we said. It's going through the walls. It's going through. You see people hiding behind tables and like. It's not doing nothing. It's not even slowing the bullets down. So, like, you feel bad
It was
for
a lost cause,
It really
basically.
was. And she didn't even kill any of the
It
judges.
reminds me of when we were kids and there was a tornado warning, or you duck down and you cover down
It's just
like
like you're
that.
still gonna die, but okay, I guess that makes it.
Or even in the '60s with the Cold War.
the Cold War with
yeah,
nukes.
with the bombs. Get under your desk, kids.
Okay, radiation can't get through the desk. I mean, it's still an open area, but hey.
And if you ever want to see the irony of all that, go on.
We should do a sketch about that.
Well, I was going to say, there are some old PSA videos from the 60s, and I've seen a couple of them on YouTube. Look for Bert the Turtle. Basically, he ducked and covered. That's all I have to say. So, yeah, that was some fun times.
Moving on.
We've got one more to go, and we hope you enjoyed as much as we did.
I am the law.
Number 1 on the good side of Dredd. The last list we said the catchphrases are what kind of killed the movie. In this one, the only time that you hear Dredd, or any judge for that matter, say, I am the law, is right before he kills Mama. He literally shot her, picks her up, he takes her to the window, shoots her up, and before the drug takes effect, she was asking, like, how could you do this? And she's just like, I'm the law. And then just throws her through the glass window.
When I heard it at first, I was just like, oh, but at the same time, they only did it once.
They only did it once, so you can't be mad. They actually used the
wasn't mad.
catchphrase. They used the catchphrase once. It's like, yeah, they used it right.
Yeah, the timing couldn't have been better.
Yeah, and it was like the perfect time. It wasn't when he was killing all the thugs. It's when he got to the big, the head of the organization, Mama.
Yeah, because in the original one, that's the very first thing he says is, I am the law.
Yeah.
And this time, and the way how, Carl Urban says it in this movie.
Yeah, he's got that, and he's got just that.
He just does it very just
nonchalant. Another good thing I liked about it, too, like I said in the first one, he's got that dry humor. It wasn't even good humor, but this version, if he did have humor, it was dry at best. Like, you're supposed to
cynicism, I would say.
Pretty much.
I would say cynicism. It was just...
Like, legit, the funniest thing he said that cracked me up the best was, before they go in to make a bust, Anderson's not wearing her helmet. And he's like, I was wondering how long it'd take for you to realize you didn't have your helmet.
Oh,
and then
forgot about that one.
She's just like, well, and it interferes with my psychic abilities. He's like, I think a bullet would worse than that.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's funny because it's true, and it's just like his delivery, but at the same time, he's not trying to be funny.
Well, and now that I think about it, when she said it affects your psychic abilities with the helmet, it makes me think of Magneto.
Yeah, there you go. That's an X-Men reference. But no, like,
God, man,
just the way he delivers the line is perfect. He's like, I think a bullet would worse than that, but
yeah.
And then he kicks in it was awesome. But I think we're ready to sign off then. That was a good episode. I gotta say, out of the two movies, the first one, it's memorable. The second one, Dredd, that's the better movie. So if you want to start off with the second one, though this way when you go into the first one, like, well, we were warned.
Yeah, and I might start listening to this guy a little bit more about reboots, but until then, I'm gonna stick to my guns.
There's only certain reboots, because like I didn't like the new Ninja Turtles. I went and saw them. The second one,
fucking Bay.
The second one was better than the first one. But
I refused. I refused to watch those. No. I refused to watch the Transformers.
You want to watch a good Ninja Turtle movie? You watch the 1990 version by Steve Barron, who directed it.
Oh yeah.
Your mind will be blown. Oh, yeah. It's amazing. If you haven't seen it already, like, we're gonna cover it eventually. That'll be in season 2. Probably.
We've got so many.
That's what I'm saying.
On the list.
We can literally go on forever doing this, guys. I mean,
and we probably will.
We probably will.
And we hope you still enjoy it. And we hope you like, share, and subscribe. Until then, I'm Wild Man Wes.
And I'm the Big Bad Wolf, Benny.
And we'll see you next time on the Wild Wolf Show. Take her easy.